Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with the instant match reaction to that game that we've just watched against Wimbledon at St James's Park. And if you're still awake, well done. You've made it. Congratulations and welcome to the party. Newcastle United have won this game 1-0, and we are through to the next round of the Carabao Cup. The last 16, which is good. It's a home tie against Chelsea. The ties never get easy for Newcastle United, but yeah, I'm looking at your comment there, George. I look sleepy. I'm not surprised given that game, to be honest with you, but I had a real challenge trying to find the game to start with, to be honest with you. God bless Mark for saving the day and hooking me up, because I missed the first 10 minutes, but didn't miss anything particularly great, did I? But we're going to talk about that game, try and make it sound exciting, I suppose, as best as we can. But we'll get stuck into that in a minute. But before we do, a little reminder, if you are checking us out for the first time, good evening to you. Normally, the post-match reactions have got a little bit more action to them, really, hence the post-match action reviews. But if this is the kind of thing you like, smash subscribe, come and join us. We're nearly at 9K, and there's a mint prize for the 9K subscriber. We'll do a competition video for that, and you can win the blue retro McEwens from the Keegan era, which is way more entertaining than what you just watched tonight. So smash that button, guys. Help us get there. Recommend us to family and friends. So, and we're live tonight as well. Jump in the comments as you always do, and we'll have a good bit of crack about whatever the heck we've just watched there. So let's get stuck right in. So let's have a look at the lineups then. So obviously this game was rearranged from Plough Lane that turned into a par 4 golf course, as we always said. And this is the lineup that he put out. Fairly strong lineup, it must be said, in terms of squad depth. There wasn't any kind of young whippersnappers in there, really. Dubravka came in goal. Fabian Schar was captain for the night. Joe Linton was in the squad. Harvey Barnes, Emil Kraft, Asala, well, which is great because we were all interested to see how well he would play. Tino came back in. Miggy came in as well for a rare appearance this season. Lloyd Kelly, Joe Willock, and Sean Longstaff. And the bench had Tonali, Gordon, Lewis Hall, Bruno. So, some good players in the squad there tonight, So started the game, and again, I think we had so much of the ball tonight. And again, I'm far enough into the video to swear. So any of the people who are just reading the New Testament tonight, apologies if I've hurt your ears. But we had loads of the ball, and we pretty much did fuck all, is what I'm going to say is my slogan tonight. Really piss poor in terms of our use of the ball, just back and forth, and another touch, another touch, another touch, another touch, and no kind of definitive passing, no kind of definitive movements, really, and just a really, really poor use of the ball, from a superior side. I mean, we got in a couple of times, Sean has a snapshot that the keeper saves. Miggy breaks the line and then just completely skies it with a dreadful finish. I mean, Miggy was busy tonight, he was buzzing around like he does, but 30-odd-year-old Paraguayan international, been in the club for a long time now. These are the kind of games Miggy should be, getting one or two goals, and really just didn't really show up. And it's hard to be too negative on the players, because I don't know what the pep talk was for that game to go out there. I think it was just literally do your job, get the result, and let's conserve energy for the weekend. And that's pretty much how it looked for the the evening's festivities. I feel a bit sorry for the fans who went to St James's Park to watch that on a Tuesday evening, because you could tell in the crowd, you could hear the murmurs, people thinking, well, how I fucking do something, and there was nothing to be done, really, and it was just, again, the passing looked a bit wayward. I mean, we brought Bruno on in the second half, and the passing looked a little bit more crisper in terms of somebody using the ball, getting on the ball, wanting things to happen. Anthony Gordon come on and look lively. Lewis Hall come on again, some lovely touches from Lewis Hall, getting the ball into the box, but again, just nothing of real note. We get the penalty, which it is a penalty, to be fair. The first one's a bit harsh, and I think he gets away with that. And then Miggy kind of sells him a dummy and goes to the right when the guy swings his left. And my God, he just kind of scythes him down. And the referee let it go for a little bit. And it's a blatant penalty. And Fabian Schar stands up to take the penalty because there's no Alexander Isak on the pitch. There's no Bruno that time. There's no Gordon at that time. And he just strokes it in the back of the net, cool as fucking ice, as Fabian Schar always does. And yeah, he gets the win. He gets the win for 1-0, and he gets the result for us, really, at the end of the day. We didn't need anything more than the 1-0 victory tonight. Could have added to it. I think Asala made some half-decent movements, a bit of strength, a bit of movement. Spun his defender, got in behind, little snapshots here and there. But overall, he's trying to find his game. He's very, very nervous, and just... Yeah, I just think we've got to give the lad a little bit of time. I'm still not massively convinced by him. Tonight is the kind of game I'd expect him to grab his chance in, but I don't think the players really found him. I think there's loads of times Willock broke through and was wanting the glory himself rather than slipping Isala in, who was making some half decent movements. So I did feel a little bit sorry, for him in that regard. But yeah, I mean, just a professional job by the lads tonight. Get the job done, get the victory, go into the next round, and conserve the energy for Everton, where hopefully the intensity will be massively dialed up. Let's go to some of your comments. George says I look sleepy. I did, to be fair, George. I am sleepy. I've got a long drive tomorrow. I'm up early as well. I'm driving very, very far tomorrow. So, I could have done without that 7-meter kit before I came on here. And it was like watching paint dry, says Tonali. Absolutely. We could have done with you on the pitch, Tonali. Might have livened things up a little bit. Marco is saying, are you allowed to critique on this channel without getting banned? That was a shit show. You're allowed to critique all you want, mate. Absolutely. We don't shy away from that. Again, what I would probably say in reserve to that is before you go in 2-footed, knee height to side the lads down, yes, we'd expect a little bit better in a game like that, but I just think that the result was all they were looking for tonight. You could see that they weren't playing, with real vigor and real intensity tonight. It was all 60%. Eddie will never admit that, but I think he just said, keep the ball, wear them down, and just get the result, which is exactly what the lads did. And Sandy with a super chat, thank you so much, bud. I really appreciate that. Hi, Chris. Happy that we won. Frustrated with the overall performance. Fair play to Wimbledon, but it's quite scary. We can't break them down. I mean, they sat in, deeper than an Alabama tick, as he said in Predator, didn't it? To be fair, Wimbledon, they really sat in deep. They had no outlet, really, no ball out, really. I think the commentator I was listening to, it sounded like he could have worked in a fruit stall in EastEnders. I don't know who it was. Let us know in the comments who he was. He was a bit apples and pears, he might know that. You got foot on the said what, not swamp by Willick. He was a little bit like that, So I don't know who he was, but he was decent, to be fair. He knew his stuff. I just think that, again, they just weren't really trying hard enough. Wimbledon weren't trying hard enough. I think that plan was to sit as deep as humanly possible, and then just try and catch us on some kind of a break. But it was just never going to happen, really, because they just didn't have the quality up top to really do anything in our kind of final third. Adrian says Longstaff on again, slow game. Let's see what happens on Saturday. No heart attack panic today. No, absolutely not. I mean, again, with Sean tonight, these are the kind of games you kind of want Sean to grab and really perform in. And he's done it before with the Carabao Cup. I remember being there for the semi-final, one of the best games I've ever been to, when Sean gets the brace, the whole stadium rocking, singing Thunderstruck by AC/DC, one of my fondest memories of being in James's Park. Unbelievable. And Sean can show up in games like that, but he just looked tired tonight. He looked like he couldn't be arsed. He had a kind of an irritation about him, pulling people silly fouls. Mark messaged me about the silly yellow card that he got and some silly runs that he made. And I don't know if he's frustrated, Sean, that he's not in the side, of late. But you've got to show your quality to get in the side, Sean. And if you show your quality, you'll get in the side. But a game like that tonight, I think there was a few went missing tonight. I thought Willock was poor tonight. I thought his decision making was poor, a little bit headless. Looked like he was just sniffing glory and wanting to go. I mean, I just think that they didn't put in the effort tonight because they were trying to conserve it for the weekend. That was my general thought on it. Call me cynical, but that was my general thought. Graham says, on the upside, Bruno was head and shoulders beyond him. Yeah, yawn fest, no urgency or sharp press around the box. Again, Graham, I just think they were pulling it all back, mate. Absolutely pulling it back. A win and instant forgot, says Sean. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the win is a win, and especially in the cup, you got to get through into the next round. That's exactly what we've done tonight. So you can't be too harsh on the lads. But to be fair, you would want a little bit better, I suppose, wouldn't you? Blue Jury says anyone who claims that watching that game was like paint dry can expect Paint's lawyers to be in touch with a very strong case of defamation. Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great at all, mate. It wasn't, to be fair. But yeah, listen, it's I'm laughing at George. George gets the reference. You love a movie reference, George. You always jump on it, mate. You always jump on it. Even at you too, Crin, thanks for being in the comments, bud. But yeah, for me, I think it was just all about the performances. As Marcus says there, Wimbledon part of the bus. I knew they were going to dig in. They were going to dig in all the time. They were, and I think that was just that goal. They knew we had better quality players, even with that lineup, with a few changes. We had better quality on the park, and we were always capable of stepping up a level or two to get the win. And Harvey Barnes had a couple of little sighters in the first half. We tucked inside with that Harvey Barnes finish, which just didn't quite come off tonight. If one of them's just 2 or 3 inches into the post. You know, it's 1 or 2-0 up in the first half, and it turns into a whitewash, really. But yeah, the lads just didn't seem like they were interested in turning up the heat tonight. They just wanted to get through it. And once the goal went in, I think they just kind of went through the motions, really. Philip said, main thing is that we're through. Yeah, exactly. I can't look forward to stuffing Everton. That's the big one, isn't it, guys, at the weekend? For me, the Everton game is a much bigger game than this one was tonight. I love getting through in the cup, don't get me wrong. I'd love a cup at Newcastle United. We'd all love a cup at Newcastle United. But I just think that, you know, the game at the weekend against Everton, we need to turn up that intensity again, like we showed against City, and really do Everton over and keep that, you know, that form in the Premier League with much better quality. I think the team will be vastly changed. You know, the midfield of Joe Linton, Bruno, and Tonali will be back. You know, and I think Gordon will be back through the middle. I can't wait to see what reception Gordon gets at Goodison off those shit houses. And I hope he scores as well. I really do. I hope he celebrates like a fucking madman. I want to see an Adebayor knee slide, Gordon. Come on. You know you want to do it, son. It'll be absolutely class. Margot saying Newcastle seem to play better and more intense when the crowd's up. They should be up for it regardless, though. I mean, yeah, it's putting on the crowd is sometimes a little bit unfair. I think, you know, there's always an expectation that the crowd has to be electric and has to be up at, you know, factor 10 every single time. But it's up to the players to get that out of the crowd sometimes. And if there's a general malaise and a general kind of apathy of, you know, oh, fucking hell, sideways, backwards passing, no forward movement, no running, no, you know, no penetrative passing, no shots, you know, the fans can get a little bit kind of, you know, weighed down with that, you know, and find it quite tedious and laborious to watch the team on the park. And I think that kind of filters through to the crowd and it zaps them of any kind of enthusiasm, especially in a midweek cup game that it's been, you know, rescheduled because of the ground being flooded, you know. And I think there was a lot of that involved tonight. And I think if Newcastle come out the traps in the first 20 minutes and really went at Wimbledon and went 3-4-0 up, St James's Park would have been cooking and you know, electric. But it wasn't going to be that tonight. And I just think that people were like, oh, okay, then this is what it is. Let's just try and get the win and move on. And Sandy says he wasn't a fan of Tino tonight. Tino is funny at the minute, isn't he, Insanity? I mean, I think Tino's really good at the back. Poor going forward. I think he hesitates to cross. He hesitates to get in the position. When he does the overlap, he hesitates for the ball across the box. You know, he often looks to tuck back in and pass it back to Miggy or whoever else is on the wing with him. I want to see a bit more confidence in Tino's game. In a game like that tonight, where he's got the beating of the player for pace and quality and athleticism, he really should have been a bit braver, Tino. You know, like Lewis Hall's brave when he comes on. People talk about Lewis Hall losing the ball and stuff, but he's brave. He'll take a chance, he'll take a gamble, little dink passes to the back stick, and he'll go for that. But Tino seems to be really withdrawn at the minute in terms of his attacking threat as a fullback, and I think that'll hold him back for replacing Trippier as the mainstay right back. Maybe he just needs a little bit more development. He's still a young lad, Tino, so you can't be too harsh on him. But yeah, tonight I'd expect a little bit more from Tino in a game like that. I'd expect him to, you know, to put his chest out and show everybody what he's all about. And just, I didn't think we saw that tonight. David Atkinson, life matters, it does, mate. Miggy confirmed his status as an unused sub for any match that matters. I mean, he was busy tonight, but you know, I always say about Miggy, he just runs around like a dog chasing a ball on the beach. There's no end product. There's no, you know, you never think for 1 minute he's actually going to do anything. Like that one where Gordon drops his shoulder and whips it to the back stick. The commentator said, oh, you know, he went with his left. The right would have been easier. And straight out of my mouth, I think everybody else doesn't have a right foot, mate. That's exactly his problem. If he had a right foot, we wouldn't have the problems that we have. And that is just Miguel Almiron all over the bat, really, isn't it, to be fair? Marcus said, Willock so far invisible this season. I want to see more from him. Again, Marcus, I agree. I think games like that, you want Willock to step up and show what he's all about. The injuries, I think, have really held Willock back. I think he's struggling to find that dynamic pace, you know, that kind of running that he does, that purpose that he has on the pitch. I think he's really struggling. I don't know whether he doesn't trust his body enough. He doesn't want to push himself too hard, too early, in case he has a, you know, relapse of injury. But yeah, Willock isn't, you know, pushing to the levels that we know Willock can be at. And that could just be a question of managing, you know, his body until the injury fully heals a little bit better and he feels more confident to basically let himself off the leash. You know, but if he doesn't start up in his game soon, then he might struggle to get into squads, to be fair, you know, and even in cup games like this as well. Scott says, watching paint dry. If that penalty wasn't awarded, that's pens all day. I agree, mate. And I'm not even sure we go through. Mind you, though, Shout out for old Vlaka Demos, who I think Craig Hope said in his video, he'll never play for Newcastle. And I kind of concurred. I thought that was actually going to be the case. And he come on the night. He didn't really have to do anything, but he collected the ball very comfortably and very calmly. He just looked quite cool as well, did old Vlaka Demos. So I might owe him an apology, to be fair. But could you imagine if it went to pens, Scott, and Vlaka Demos saved the pen? Would have said that's 20 million quid well spent there. Absolutely well spent. Yeah, I agree. And Sandy, I shit myself as well when Schar landed up. I thought his ankle had rolled. I thought, fucking hell, here we go again. Not good at all. DJ Swifty said, the crowd was more like a Kingston Park than St James's Park. It's embarrassing when the opposing fans are singing your supporters fucking shite after 8 minutes. Yeah, not great, to be fair. I mean, the Wimbledon fans would have been in great voice, mate, because, the game was called off for their place. They've had a nice trip up to Newcastle. They've probably been on a piss all day in the piss and rain. Probably love the cheap beer up in the northeast. They'll be staying overnight, probably rough hangovers tomorrow and getting the train back to London. So they're buzzing, mate. They're absolutely loving it. So no wonder they were a little bit louder than we were, to be fair. But yeah, I think we were just expecting more. And when it didn't come, the crowd maybe just got a little bit apathetic with it. Kid saying Almiron played well, just a bit rusty in front of goal. He's bound to be rusty, isn't he, Kit? Because he's not played a lot this season. But I just think the problem is with Almiron, I just think he's, we've seen the very best of Almiron, and everything we're seeing now is just a downward spiral. I think he should have been sold in the summer, and the fact that he's still here and he's making little guest star appearances for cup games like this is just a sad indictment of the fact we kind of shift this player on. I still think Yankuba Minteh should have stayed at the club. I understand the reasons for selling him, I understand the reasons for FFP and PSR, but if we'd had Yankuba Minteh tonight against a team like that, who's to say he wouldn't have lit up St James's Park and give the crowd the excitement that they needed and that they wanted, or even Sanasu as well, if he'd had a chance to come on tonight and play. But Eddie didn't pick Sanasu, and obviously Yankuba Minteh was sold, and we've still got the likes of Almiron and Murphy in the squad. So, it is what it is until probably January or at least the summer, before we can do something about it. Liam's saying the atmosphere was always going to be shit regardless of the opposition. I think, yeah, possibly, mate. Unless it'd been maybe Middlesbrough or Sunderland or something, then it might have been a little bit up and raucous then. Adrian Shadball saying it was AFC Wimbledon would have won. So come on, you Dons. It was a fix. You must be a Dons fan, mate. Yes, hey, if Wimbledon had won, mate, I would have said fair play. You dug in. And I think you'd, you might have hit us on the break and got a shit house 1-0, and you would have said fair play. We'd expected a bit more from us anyway to beat you, but I'm not going to get into a spat with you, mate. And it blatantly was a pen, mate. Come on, honestly, Stevie Wonder saw that was a pen. Adrian, I think you've definitely had a few scoops tonight, mate. Go back, watch it in the morning when your head's clear with the Barocca, and you'll see it's a penalty, mate. Honestly, it's a proper halving. Leg out. Look at your player's reaction. That tells you it's a pen. Terrific saying Spurth over Callum Wilson tonight, who broke his arm turning the volume up on his TV. Do you remember when Rio Ferdinand did that? Didn't he sprain himself going to get the remote control or going for a shit or something? And he was out for a bit further as well. Yeah, as Marcus says, it wouldn't be a shocker. I mean, the whole Callum Wilson thing, again, copy and paste Miggy Almiron. The difference between Wilson and Almiron is Wilson still has ability to change a game and do something, but he just doesn't have the fitness. And what will happen with Wilson, I guarantee you, he'll come back, he'll bang in a couple of goals, and we'll all forget all about it. And then we'll go, oh, Wilson's back. Yeah, Wilson's great. And then he'll get injured and he'll be off. He'll be off again. He'll be done. So that's what Callum Wilson does. Again, he's another player who should have been sold in the summer for me. And I just think that the club really dropped the bollock on that one as well, to be fair. You're right, Kit. Yeah, good payday for Wimbledon. I think it will help Wimbledon, with the finances. I think, obviously the fact that they need to get the money in as well to sort the ground out, which is, I hope they do. I really hope they get that sorted. Obviously a lot of donations from a lot of people, including our club, which was great to see. And, hopefully Wimbledon get back to plough lane and get that all squared up and, and really push to try and get promoted this season as well, because I think they do defend well. They just need maybe a little bit of something up front. And maybe they can do well in the league. But, I think we had a good relationship with the Wimbledon fans, I think, since this whole thing was rearranged. I know there was a little bit of needle from certain Newcastle YouTubers, but certainly wasn't the way most Newcastle fans reacted towards it. Most of the Wimbledon fans have had some great interactions with us as well on social media, and I'm sure at the ground tonight as well. And there'll be a good feeling in Newcastle. That's one good thing about Newcastle. When you're an away fan coming to Newcastle, you do get a bit of respect, and you're left alone. You can have a pint in any of the bars. No one gives you any shit. That's not the way we roll up here. Unfortunately, that's not reciprocated in other clubs as well, where you get banned when you go to the city centres. I wish more clubs and more towns and cities will like the way Newcastle are with away fans, because I've been loads of bars before the game and you see away fans coming in and the away fans can't believe how Newcastle fans just don't bother with them. You know what I mean? They even talk to them and have a bit crack with them in the boozers before the game as well, you know, and it's all kind of, you know, the way football should be, in my opinion. But yeah, unfortunately, it is not reciprocated by a lot of other football fans as well, including Adrian in the chat here, who's trying to get a rise, but you're not going to get a rise out of me, mate. I can't be arsed. I'm quite tired after watching that shit game, to be fair. And you digging in like a tick and not attacking is probably one of the reasons why I'm very tired, mate. So you won't be getting anything off me, Bonnie lad. So you can chip away all you want, but if you reach prick status, you'll get the flick. That's how we roll around here. Yeah, Peter, up the mags, absolutely, mate. Up the mags. You got to say fair play. You know, winners are winners, we say. You know, there's nothing. There's nothing more you can do than that, to be fair. J7's in the house. Good to see you, J7. Thank you very much, buddy. Thanks for jumping in the chat tonight. It'll be a short one, this, really, because quite honestly, I'm amazed I've managed to talk for half an hour about this game anyway, because it was so shit and there wasn't really a great deal to talk about. But hey, that's why we're here. Marcus saying, you're right, Wilson will score and then get injured 3 games after. Absolutely, man, absolutely. Ian said the P-man is down 500. No wonder he's pissed off. He's down 500, Nick. Fucking hell, he should have learned better. Then he's already had enough bother with Wimbledon. He should have been putting a bet on that game, mate. Bloody, he's even old enough to bet. Bloody hell. Peter's also saying Everton weekend beat them, corned beef canyon fuckers. I must admit, the Everton fan base is quite something, aren't they, really? You know, I remember when we did a video about Anthony Gordon, some of the shite they were throwing in the comments on here was honestly ridiculous. It was quite laughable, really, in all fairness. And these are guys getting really seriously animated about this, you know, because of Newcastle fans talking about it. And, you know, they're not a good side. The reek of a relegation side. They're living in moments. We were there when we got relegated. You know, it happened to Villa, happened to Sunderland, happened to us, happened to Southampton, happened to every team, West Ham. It happens to all these teams where you're just on that vicious spiral of relegation. And Everton have been reeking the Premier League up for years now. And new stadium takeover, it won't matter a jot. If they can't bring in the quality players to pull them out the shit, they are going down. And I'd love Newcastle to help shove them through the trapdoor, because they are a shithouse of a club and a shithouse of a fan base. And for me, I'd be quite glad if they dropped through the trapdoor, went into the Championship. Northumberland Rockhopper, good to see you, buddy. Through the next round, but I'm a bit concerned about Everton. I think they might beat as well. I hope they don't, mate, for everything that I've just said. But yeah, I don't think they've got enough quality to beat us, mate, really. Dwight McNeil, Harrison, steady away players, you know, but you know, if our fullbacks have a good game, if Trips plays and plays like he did against City, if Hall plays like he did against City, I can't see them getting a sniff. And they haven't really got anything else in that team to cause us enough trouble. I think we've got much better quality. That midfield is light years ahead of their midfield, and Gordon will be bang at it, mate. He will be gasping for a goal to win that game. I think we'll see the Anthony Gordon that we all know and love in that game. He will be dying to score the winner in that game, believe you me. Centurion saying, got the job done. Everyone a bit flat after those excursions of the weekend. Yeah, all as well. I think you're right, mate. I think that's exactly what it is. I think they expelled so much energy against City that this was just a bit of an anticlimax, you know? And I just think that's exactly what happened. And I think even Eddie Howe was just, go get out there and do the job, guys, and get the win, and we'll move on and prepare for Saturday. And that's exactly what happened. As Tim says, very pedestrian pace. Thought Willock didn't start until the last 20 minutes. I do laugh at Willock because he always looks fucked, Tim, doesn't he? You know, like 10 minutes in a game, he looks fucked. Hour in a game, he looks fucked. But he just turns the burners on and he's away. But yeah, I just think he just looked really lethargic tonight. Same with Longstaff, lethargic. Just didn't look like they were really interested. They just wanted to get the game done, I think, really. And a lot of the players kind of seem the same way. Not Fabian Schar, I don't feel. Not Lewis Hall. Not Harvey Barnes or Asala. But some of the other players like Willock, Longstaff, you know, I just thought that they couldn't be asked, and it kind of came across in that game. I'm not digging them out. They were part of a professional performance that got the win, and the win that was required, but they just didn't pull up any trees, did they? DJ Swifty up at 5 a.m. for Graf. I'm about an hour behind you, mate. And I'll be in the motor for 7, driving 4.5 hours. So I'm breaking it up, though, but 4.5 hours in total. That's a long old drive, mate. Seeing the 2-1 always makes the alarm worth it, but can't see me having a great deal to talk about with the lads at Bateside. Great stream as always. Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate that, mate. Yeah, I'm amazed we've got this much out of it. It's because we're having a good crack together, aren't we? Is why we're getting a few comments out of it. But yeah, we'll do a few more, guys, and then we'll wrap it up, I think, as well. Yeah, well said, Kevin. Bring on the Scouse skip rats. Yeah, they are like the Scouse Mackhams, aren't they? Yeah, I mean, they are. They're just. I mean, to be fair, that Twitter Spaces is hilarious. Lee, who used to be on the streams with us, big friend of the channel, he lives for the Everton threads or chat rooms or whatever the fuck they call them on Twitter Spaces. That's it. He lives for them. And some of them is hilarious. When you hear some of the banter that's replayed on videos on X, is absolutely hilarious. It really, really is. As Kiwi Toon says, Everton awful side, awful ground, and awful supporters. Yeah, I think that's a great summary of them. I can't wait to beat them. You watch how furious they'll be in the post-match of the weekend in our chat if we beat them. They'll be throwing all sorts of shit. You fucking scabby fucking magpies and that. You fucking. That's all they'll be saying non-stop in the comments. Just like Jamie Carragher's spitting, comment after comment. So I really hope the lads do beat them, because it'd be quite funny to just go flick, multiple pricks off the chat, which would be quite hilarious as well. But me and Mark will wait with bated breath for that if we do win. Jonas said Wimbledon manager Johnny Jackson, a dodgy penalty. I'm fuming with it, as if we need another thing going against us. Come and here's the underdog. Is that what he actually said? Fucking hell. I mean, go back and watch it again, mate. Maybe he's watching the same game as the other lad in the comments as well there, but fucking dodgy pen. Maybe in League One, son, but in the rest of the Football League, that is a penalty all day long. Cynical Jim, love that name, mate. Do you think Gordon has the balls to celebrate if he scores versus Everton? Not 100%, Jim. He is going to celebrate like a motherfucker. You watch him, mate. I'm talking about Adebayor knee slide, badge kissing the whole fucking shebang. He really will. Yeah, don't worry, Peter. I think he will. I think he absolutely will. He's not gonna go silent. Not the way they treat him when he was chased down the street in his Land Rover, mate. He'll be fucking celebrating like a madman, and I'm here for it. I'm living for it. John Betson, Willock hasn't been great since his half-season purple patch. To be honest, looks lazy and weak most of the time. Do you know what it is, John? I've got to be honest with you. I'm starting to think about Willock. Do we stick or twist? I think the injuries are becoming way too consistent, and I agree with you. We haven't seen that Willock that we know and love for a long period of time. You look at the rest of the midfielders that are in there; they all offer something. You got obviously Bruno, with just his Bruno kind of esque essence. Really, you got Joe Linton, who's the monster. You got Tonali, who's the nice balance of steel and silk. Longstaff, for all of his failings, runs all day long. I think Louis Miley is a fantastic young player who's got an eye for a pass and the ability and the vision to pull it off as well. Willock is going backwards as a player. I know he's had the injuries, and it's maybe a bit harsh to say that, but Willock was a goal-scoring midfielder. Eddie Howe changed his game and made him a complete midfielder, but now he's doing completely nothing. And I do worry that he is regressing as a player, and I think it's something that we'll keep an eye on. Maybe do a video as the months go by. But yeah, if you can get money for Willock, I say cash in at the minute. I really do. Marcus in the comments saying, can War Flag Russell have a huge contract for the fans to show off at the weekend? That'd be quite good. Yeah. Oh, one for Anthony Gordon. Yes, Mark, you lost me there. Very tired after watching that game, mate. That was way too clever in the comments of that. Terrific lad said if we can get 35-40 for Willock again in the summer, get rid. I agree, mate, and I do agree. I think he's certainly not showing us that he's good enough to break into the team, and he's good enough to impact games at the minute. Yeah. Comment there from P. James saying, hope Dubravka's injury isn't too serious, or we'll be down to 17 fit goalies. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, Dubravka got clattered by the centre forward. It was a proper 50-50 smash. Nothing wrong from the player. Didn't put any malicious intent there. It was just one of them 50-50s with a keeper, and sometimes they can come off worse. But I mean, Dubravka again is another one that I think we probably should have sold in the summer. So hopefully Pope stays fit, because behind him you've got, if Dubravka's fit, you've got, Vlachodimos or Ruddy, which, isn't a great set of keepers, to be brutally honest with you, because Gillespie just carries water and sings Ronan Keaton. Sensible Monica saying Paul Mitchell is right. An elite club playing 15 million for Osula is going badly wrong. Yeah, I mean, I don't rate him. I don't rate him. I think there's a couple of moments tonight where I thought, oh, well, there's a little something there. But I said this on X the other day. You see Liam Delap going for the same price, and he's scoring two brilliant goals against Villa, and he scored a really good goal at the start of the season as well. He's got pace, he's got ability, movement, he can finish, and he was exactly the same cost as Usala. And for me, I just think we've had our pants pulled down and we're arse spanked by Sheffield United. And I think it's a really, really poor signing. I know people are saying give him time, but I think there was better out there. And Liam Delap is a prime example as to why there's better out there. Mark's had it with Longstaff. He says Longstaff is shit. Tonali would have had a field day if he didn't need resting. Chris Wood would have had a hat-trick tonight. You know, I think you're right, mate. The more I think about Chris Wood, the more I think we probably shouldn't have sold him, in all fairness, because I think he would have done a good job as that number 3 striker. But maybe he wanted a bit more first-team football, to be fair. I think Peter's saying nice lad, but medium player. I think he means Sean Longstaff. He does mean Sean Longstaff. He's saying he isn't good enough. The problem is with Sean, I think when he has an opportunity in a game like that, he has to step up and he has to do something. And he just didn't do anything tonight. He really, really didn't, And for me, it's disappointing. And it's disappointing as well. Willock isn't stepping up either. Kids saying you did well tonight, Chris, with minimum expletives. Shit, I spoke too soon. That's my tiredness, I think, mate, to be fair. I'm not swearing as much. And I'm not annoyed, actually, because, that game was just, like I say, it was just much of a muchness, really. There's nothing to really be annoyed about. You just got to be happy with the result and move on to the next one. I'll be annoyed if we don't show up against Chelsea because, Chelsea have got a hell of a squad depth, so they could put out a really good team no matter who they play. And I'd like to do Chelsea and then, get through to the last stages of this cup. So I think this is a cup that we can win. Dan Robinson, good evening. Not the biggest win, but it was very comfortable. Lots of positives, heavily rotated team. Team not played really well together, but we got the win. Yeah, that is a positive, Dan. Well said, mate. That is a positive as well. I just think that the weekend was a more important game. I'm sure Toon Polls put their polls out before this game and said what was more important, Wimbledon or Everton, and most people said Everton. But I think people would have been raging if we went out the night to Wimbledon. But Everton is the most important game in their mind. But it's always going to be the case. The cup games split people's opinions, don't they? John Best saying, in my opinion, I do think there is a player in there with a Salah, but he's raw. At the same time, no one was paying him. Or crossing tonight. I do agree with that. I think he made some runs. They got completely ignored. It's hard to write him off tonight. I respect your thoughts. So, yeah, I respect yours as well, mate. That's exactly what we're doing on this channel. We respect each other's opinions. We have a good chat. We can agree or disagree, as long as nobody's an arsehole in the comments or the flick comes out and you're out of here, which I'm sure the Wimbledon fan has actually disappeared anyway. Maybe he's realised it was a penalty and went to hang his head in shame. We'll talk to your manager as well, mate, because I think he needs to do the same. But yeah, I think that's what's pretty much done for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for jumping in the live chat. We always appreciate it. We always appreciate the engagement as well. Roll on Everton at the weekend. Marcus saying he's been sent to bed. Yeah, sent to bed with a yellow card, mate. Absolutely. But yeah, we always appreciate engagement. It always makes the episode flow really well. And if you do like this kind of a thing, smash that subscribe. Help get us to that 9K. We're really close. We want to get there as quick as we can and then give you guys the chance to win that amazing retro Blue McEwen's top from the Keegan Entertaining era, which is an amazing shirt. We'll be buzzing to give it to one of you great subscribers as well. So make sure you get us there and enter that prize when we do it. We'll be back with some more content to do. We've got a couple of transfer rumor videos. I'm disappearing for a couple of days with a day job, unfortunately, but we've got a couple of videos uploaded, ready to go, and then we'll be back for the post-match when we hopefully smash the Scouse Mackhams at the weekend and piss them right off. Yeah, thanks for your super chat as well, Dan. It will be a tougher game, absolutely. But yeah, hopefully we will smash Everton at the weekend and we'll all be buzzing and Anthony Gordon will get the winner and we will laugh our bollocks off. Have a great evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are, guys. Keep it evermore. Well done, Newcastle, for getting to the next round and we'll catch you later. Cheers.